Alright guys, this is Jeremy and we are not playing Minecraft today. Today is Jeremy Plays Banished, a new game type that we have for you guys. I've been telling you that we're going to get this started. So this is a different game type. It's kind of like SimCity meets Settlers of Catan. Maybe that's a weird interpretation of this, but it's an approach to doing those real-time strategy town-based things, but you're settlers and you have to keep your people alive. You don't have that problem whenever you're dealing with SimCity. So maybe not directly. So this is going to be an interesting type for us. I want to get a whole set of series out of this. If you guys haven't played this game type, that's fine. I'm going to try to explain it as I go along. I've been playing it for a little bit, but essentially we are trying to create a town. You see this town in the background that we have the whole village and trees and marketplace, and this is even like a farmland that you can have. So we're going to get into this here in a minute. The hope is that we go ahead and have 20-minute episodes. So I'm going to try to keep to about 20-minute episodes as we go along doing this. Now we have on here auto slow down on disasters. I don't want disasters. I want to try to remove that. Show weather effects we'll have for now. I don't know if that's something that you guys like. I actually want to hear what your guys' input is on this right away. Do you guys like having the weather effects on there? Do you guys want me to get rid of it? I'm really fine either way kind of process. So we got our setup. We got all these different actions that we can do. We'll get into all this. There's food production, details like this. So if you guys want to download this game, I am actually running it off of Steam. So this is a great game type for people that like these kind of plays, but it's a little bit different. There are some unique things we'll get into today about limitations of this game, but I absolutely love it. Otherwise I wouldn't be playing it with you guys. So let's go ahead and jump in. Now I'm going to turn off disasters because I feel like it gives a unique but sometimes frustrating option. And I want to be this about building the game type. That being said, I want to make it a little bit tough, so I'm okay with doing medium game beginning. You can make this really hard if you want, which means that you have 4 families you start with, you have some stuff, but you better get your butt going. So we'll go ahead and do medium. I don't want it to be easy that it's just, let's go ahead and do this. I want to make it a large terrain size. If you like to play for hours on end with these kind of cities, you want to have a large approach. Map seed, I don't really have anything specific. Town name. So I actually went on Twitter. I went on a couple different social media platforms and asked what are some different town names that I could possibly do for this. Now this is kind of a old-timey type setup, so I kind of wanted names around that. Eric Dye actually suggested Salva Terra, which is just basically save town, so, or save land kind of thing. And so since we're going to be saving, I thought that was a fun little approach to this. So we're going to name this save land. We're going to go ahead and launch this. If you guys read down at the below, we're going to start with 5 families. Clothing, food, firewood, tools, and construction materials are provided. A barn has already been built for you. Some seeds for fields and orchards are also available. So when we start this, our first goal is winter comes, you can die from frostbite, you need food so that your people cannot starve to death. Roads are very helpful. So when we first start this, we need to make sure that we get things going. So if I'm not talking as much, that's what I need to do, because if I don't do this fast enough, if I'm too focused on talking to you guys as we do this, my people will die, the game's over. Oops, oh well, sorry Charlie. You'll see, it'll look like this wasteland that's right here, which is actually quite possible for us. All right. So we got a lot of people. Okay, beautiful. If we come up here, you can actually pause. Down here is all of our different things that we have. So there's a lot of different options here. I feel like the sound is really loud though. Should we turn the sound down? Tell me what you guys think. I'm going to leave a little bit of ambient noise, but do you guys like it when it's much quieter? Do you guys like it to not be too loud? So I'll adjust this for your guys' own expectations. Obviously, people have different thoughts and feelings about this. So let's go like that. All right. So we need first homes, and you'll notice that there's more options here, but they're grayed out. We can't actually do those until we get to that point. We have roads, we have stone, we have storage barns and stockpiles, which is really appropriate. And then we have fields. This will be our first thing that we need to do is fields, but then you can do crops and fishing and all that stuff. And then tearing down the forest, but we don't want to just tear down the forest. We want to be able to build it back up. So there's important things with that. But then you can have blacksmiths and taverns and stuff like that. And then you can actually just have a formal get rid of this stuff, collect the iron, which we'll actually use in game initially. So I like to take a lay of the land. We've got some animals here, some animals here. We've got a whole bunch of stone here. That's what this is. We got iron here. That's what that is right there. Forests. Let's see. Ooh, this is a nice little pocket here. We got the waterway, which is important because we can do trading. So this will be our main road here as we go along. There'll probably be a lot of fishing that happens in here, but this is where the shipments will come in, so we can have that there. Looks like I'll eventually want to cross over because there's a lot of forest here. This is really nice. I like this. This is a good set of forest here. Looks like it goes back way back into here. I think this is actually a really nice place. I've had it where these mountains just like overtake the map. So this is actually good. The mountains are really difficult because you can't build over them, you can't do anything with them. So this is a good setup because we got good sized forest here, as well as here, a lot of iron deposits. But this will probably be where we focus a lot of our forestry stuff here. So, how do we proceed? We need housing, and we'll eventually need a dock, and we will need farmland. So, if I grab some of our guys, let's go ahead and do 1x for a little bit. We've got a whole bunch of people here. Actually, while we wait, I do like to post, not the event log, what else do I have? We have general statistics. This will be appropriate because it says how many people we have, how many people are students, and how many people are children. Children can't do anything. Students are getting ready to learn. If they have a school, they can be well educated. This will be appropriate as far as needing firewood. We have when it is, and so we have about 2 seasons before we get to winter time. Clothing's important because they gotta stay warm, as well as firewood. And then we have our food, and that's the other big one. So if this gets too low and our citizens are not healthy anymore, happiness is important, but not right away. So we need to make sure that this food stays up and this firewood stays up, with this the logs eventually going into firewood. So we have 3 tasks. We have houses, we need to have firewood, which requires logs, and we also need farmland. So we have one more: assign tasks to citizens. This is another one where you can go individually and set what they do, or you can just come over here and adjust this. Laborers is just the general, if a task needs done, let's do it. Builders will actually build the houses that we have. Farmers are going to build the farms that we need, and there's everything else. Now, you can increase this to builders and to farmers and stuff like that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to do anything. And so if they don't have anything they can do, because this is still 0 on the number of jobs for them, they'll still do laborer type things. Sometimes they won't do anything, so you have to be careful with that. So with that being said, we need a couple houses. So I like to keep this organized. Let's go ahead and do there and there. So now you guys see that we have 4 houses, that or 4 builders jobs that we can have with this. We also need farms. Oops. Let's see. Let's do this. Yeah, let's do this right across it. I'm going to go for the biggest farm we can possibly have. especially initially. So we got more farmers going. That'll be good. And then we also need, let's see, we can remove forests. And it's been like a week since I've done this, so I've already forgotten everything. This is the woodcutter. Yeah, I guess we need woodcutters. Alright, so let's do that. Yeah, let's do that here. So we got a little path that'll probably take us up to the forest up front in a little bit. So we'll get there when we go. You can select which resources you want to do, whether it's stone, iron, or harvesting. Because we are trying to clear all this out as we go along, we'll just go ahead and do a general clear all for now. We're going to need this lumber here, so that's kind of why we're going to go with that. Now, as you guys can see, the weather's happening. I don't know how this looks on YouTube. It actually looks really nice on my screen. So if you guys hate the weather and tell me turn it off, I will have it off next time. You guys just tell me what you want. Alright, so we have a field. We need to decide what to grow. Cabbage or beans. There's really not a significant health for each one, even though cabbage, if you know, is not as healthy as beans. So let's just go ahead and mark beans. You can have food limits. I really don't understand the food limits, because if you want to have more food, that's important. But I guess if you go crazy with the food, that's really difficult. So we have limits on what we can store in the barn, as well as what can be put in the stockpile. Food gets stored in the barn, so I guess it makes sense, but people are always eating, so I have yet to hit the food limit for myself. So let's go ahead and go. You guys need to get going now, because otherwise we're going to run out of time. Please work. Let's go ahead and bump that up to 4. So we got 4 builders, or 3 builders, 3 laborers, and 4 farmers. When this gets built, we're going to have someone go ahead and just immediately start on logs, firewood for people to get. The houses are important, but right now that's just as important for me too, so I want to make sure that gets done. I do want to save a little bit of space out here for the fishing, so I want to make sure we don't overcrowd it. We might have already done so, so we may have to move the fishing out to here. Come on, people. I will say this, I don't plan on ever bumping this current speed past 10 or past 5, so you can go 2, 5, and then 10. I don't ever plan on going past 10. I know a lot of people watch Let's Plays and you just breeze through that part. So this will give me a chance to talk about a lot of stuff. And at the same time, while I'm talking, sometimes I forget about the fact that I'm actually playing a game and I could lose very quickly, especially early game stuff. So I'm going to make sure that we don't fast forward, because we'll get notifications. As you know, up here, this is going to be an important bar, because you see that there's citizens without homes. When it becomes wintertime, if they don't have a home, they're in trouble. So it looks like we have 2 houses done, and the fireplace is almost done, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, excellent. So we got, oops, we don't want to turn the work off. We can actually adjust this here in this. So now we're going to have 1 person with firewood. They're going to come over here, grab some lumber, some logs, come over here and grab that. So that is completely set up. Excellent. It looks like they are going ahead starting the beans. Hopefully they'll get enough for this season. They probably won't get the whole thing done, but they typically get a whole harvest every year. Maybe not the first year. Alright, so we need more homes. We got this one going. They can't start building the homes until they clear it, so you see that they have to remove trees and logs, and get logs and get stones for the actual build process. So that's what that means. So we've got a lot of people over here building. We're going and going. Man, we did not get a ton done this first round. That's okay. So we've got a starting point for ourselves. I also want to eventually build roads, but the problem is this takes builders and laborers to do, and we have more important things. But the roads are important, because if we have the roads, then we can actually move faster. The initial roads are maybe a little bit faster. It's when we get into the stone roads that people actually really go fast. So that'll be good whenever we can get that. But I want to make sure that we're safe for winter time. We've got food production. Got 2 houses. We've got 8 people without homes, but we've got firewood. Alright, so we need 2 more homes. The other big important thing, they don't tell you up here with this. Let's see. Get that one there. They don't tell you with the alerts is that the houses themselves, if you look over here, this is probably one family, but they can have more than one family living in one house. And the problem with that, if you have it that way, is that they don't have children as much. And so if the house is full, they're not going to have more children, which means your population isn't going to grow. And if you get people that are up in age like 40 or 60, which is typically when they die in this game, then your population drops dramatically, and all of a sudden you have a shortage of people because you didn't build enough houses. So I want to make sure. I've actually run into that problem several times with testing this game beforehand, so that's one I want to avoid as we go along. Alright, looks like we're going to have 2 houses. You still have to remove some trees. They're doing really good though. I really think we've got this first year accomplished. Very nice. So I think the other big thing when we get going is we need to make sure that we keep that food supply up. That's always been the thing that I've run into. You can get trading, you can get stone cutting and the forestry going, but the thing that I've run into over and over again is problems with food. So I need to make sure I keep on top of that as we go along. Looks like we're going to be limited in space as far as farmland. So this might be our farming land right here where they'll bring over. And we can make sure we have that going. Also, we need to fairly early establish, maybe not right now. Are we at our limit of fuel? That's excellent. So this symbol means that we are at capacity for that resource. So she's not going to make any more firewood until then. I know that 300 is a pretty good limit. I do want to try to bump this up eventually, but if you notice here, 67% full. I don't want it to be all firewood because of those logs, those iron and stone need to be for houses. So that'll be important to have too. But one of the things I was going to say is we need to make sure that we keep getting firewood as well. So that'll be important too as we go along, to make sure we keep investing in planting as well as cutting down forests. But we've got a lot here, so I think we'll be fine for the interim. Let's zoom in on these people, see what they're doing. Taking food to your house. They actually store some of the food at their house. You see they got potatoes there. That looks like firewood, so they're gonna have that there. You come into the barn and they've got iron tools, which we need to make sure because that just makes sure that you work faster. So we'll have to have a, I think it's masonry, and then someone to make coats whenever we start to kill the animals. You can do it out of cotton. Is it cotton? You can do it out of wool. I know that. So you can have a bunch of different. You can make it out of hide. So those are options too. We'll probably get an animal farm here in a little bit whenever we actually get animals. Really, the only way you can get animals is from trading. So we'll need to set up that sometime fairly soon to get some animals. That's a good source of food. That's a good source of clothing whenever we can get sheep in here as well. So it looks like we got, we need one more house. All right, builders, one more quick house and we should be set up for wintertime. That was actually really good. I'm thinking, instead of getting too cocky, that we should go ahead and build a second farm. Yeah. So if this is going to be the beginning of our town, it'll eventually go this way. So we'll build more towns here. So let's go ahead and have more farmland right here. Too large. There we go. Guessing that's too large, that's too large. So we'll do more farmlands. We'll dedicate more people to it. The logs are going. The firewood's going. We're doing really, really good, guys. I really like where we're at. Now our food is at 500. And here's the key thing about this, and I'll leave this as the end of the episode. Food does not grow during the winter time when you're using farmlands. So we've got 500 food, 300 food right now. Oh geez. We'll be okay because they haven't harvested any of this food right now. But when this is gone and winter comes, it's gone. And then this needs to grow, which means we don't have any more food until about summertime. So I'm comfortable now, but we have to get this right here, and this is what's going to last us for the next 6 to 9 months. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. This farmland's not going to get used this year. I probably should have gone for 2. Oh well, we'll see how it goes, guys. So I'm going to leave the episode there. Tell me what you guys think. Have you played this game type before? Have you gotten into Banished yourself? What's your early game strategy? Did I make any mess ups? How would you have done it differently? So leave your guys comments below. Tell me what you think, if you're going to get into the game yourself. And I will catch you guys next time. Bye bye.